Hello, 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 hello. One more hello to you, my beautiful people out there in YouTube land. How are you? It is Tuesday, July 7th, 2020. Yes, 7 7. Yeah, 7, the number of perfection. Yeah. So it is also the number of completion. 7. Yes, so we have completed a week in the month of July, the seventh month of the year, in the second half of the year, the first month in the second half of the year. And so, yes, it is the 7th of July 2020, and you are watching Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Mwah. Thank you for tuning in to watch this program today. I really appreciate it. You know that, right? I do appreciate you joining the program at this point in time, knowing that you could have been otherwise doing other things. But you, my fellow students of knowledge, have come because you want to get information, right? Because you know our Creator says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And we don't want to be destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? We can't know everything, but we need to know the things that are important to us to prevent us from making wrong decisions, right? Too many times we make wrong decisions and they turn around and bite us in the you know what, yeah? Absolutely. And so we want to make the right decisions. And so you've come to get information. You know, I always have information to share with you, right? Absolutely. As I get it, I give it to you because knowledge is nothing if I keep it to myself. Absolutely not. Knowledge must be shared, it must be applied. And so I'm here to share knowledge with you. And hey, welcome, cousin. Good afternoon, my beautiful cousin, all the way from New York. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome indeed. Yes, thank you for tuning in. And thank you to all my visitors on the program today. If it is your first time, a very special welcome. Yes, thank you, Saloni. Yes, my darling, I see you are signed in also. Welcome, 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 welcome to all my family and friends. And I know my dad has tuned in also. And so, welcome also that on all of you who are watching from all over the world. I know you are, regardless of what I'm seeing on YouTube. I know that you are watching. Yes, the algorithms are not right, but we don't worry about that. We're just happy that we're here. Yes, today it's a beautiful day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh my God, Jennifer. Hey, Jay. Yes, thank you, Jay. Oh my God, JJ. My fellow JJ has also tuned in today to what? Love you, girl. Awesome, guys. I am telling you, I'm all over the island and all over the world. People are tuning in to watch the program. Yes, I thank you so much for tuning in today. It's a beautiful day. And guys, you know, I have lots of information to give you. So guess what? Hit that share button right now. Hit the share button. Share with all your friends and family and tell them to come and tune in to watch the program because I have information to give to you today, as I always do, right? Absolutely. Of course, you know what I do, right? I have to give you the news and I give you my 2 cents on it. And I start because we are still in a COVID pandemic. Regardless of what you hear going on out there, we are in a pandemic, guys. All you have to do is go to India, go to the US, go to specifically Florida, California, Texas, and you see we're in a pandemic. Absolutely. So I got to give you my COVID-19 pandemic information in Jamaica to start my program. Yeah. And today I'm going to do it a little different today, guys. I'm going to do it. We get the press releases because we only get the press briefing once a week. So outside of that, we get press briefings. So I'm going to give you the press release direct as how I got it today. Well, I got it yesterday. So, it comes in at 5 p.m. or thereabouts, the day before when I give it to you. Absolutely. So this is what was sent out from the Ministry of Health and Wellness yesterday evening. 7 more COVID-19 patients have recovered and have been released from isolation, bringing the total recoveries to 591. That's an 80.2% recovery rate. At the same time, following the confirmation of 5 new cases in the last 24 hours, referring to yesterday, Jamaica now has a total of 737 COVID-19 cases. The 5 new cases are imported, having arrived on flights from the USA and Dominican Republic. Yes, the DR is in the mix. 3 are males and 2 are females with ages ranging from 17 to 65 years. There are 3 who are Jamaican nationals with addresses in Kingston and St. Andrew and Manchester. So one is from Manchester, two is from Kingston, and two are from Kingston rather, and two are non-Jamaicans, visitors, right, who are staying in St. James, tested positive. There are now 123 active cases under observation, while 13 cases are repatriated to their country of origin. So these are visitors who came into the island, guys. 13 of them, they have been sent back home. Bye. There is no moderately ill or critically ill patient at this time. According to the press release, 9 persons of interest remain quarantined at government facilities and 6,896 are in home quarantine for my big data people, yeah? The health departments across the island are currently following 300 close contacts of confirmed cases. We'll see if they are positive or not. All 737 cases recorded in Jamaica have been categorized as 221 imported cases, 234 cases that are contacts of confirmed cases, 39 local transmission cases not epidemiologically linked, 236 related to the workplace cluster in St. Catherine, that is Alarica, of course, and 7 that are under investigation. Females account for 56%. That at 416 females have been confirmed, and the remaining 44% are male. That is 321 males. Of course, the ages of all confirmed cases, as you know, ranges from 2 months to 87 years. So I've given you all the big number. The only other big number I must give to you, or the big number for my big data people is this. So they sampled 266. They had 266 new samples, right? And negative 26,002. 26,002. That's 26,000, 002, right? Those are the negative cases. And as I said, 737 are positive, and the total samples to date is 26,798 samples to date. There are currently 13 persons who have been hospitalized, and we have 115 persons who are in isolation, whether home or government isolation. Yes, thank you for my thumbs up, guys. Thank you for my thumbs up. Keep those thumbs up coming, guys. Yes, keep them coming. Thank you for my thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Oh, and thank you for my new subscribers. Yes. My subscription rate is fluctuating, but it's okay. I know it will get there eventually, right? Just keep on subscribing, guys. Yeah, thank you. All right. So that was my big data number for my big data people. Yeah. So now let me give you this hot one because it is 12 o'clock and it should have already happened. So let me just give you the story. I hope it has happened. So dancehall artist Tommy Lee Sparta, whose real name is Leroy Russell, has been asked to make contact with the detectives at the Freeport Police Station in Montego Bay, St. James, by midday today, July 7, 2020. So it is now 9 minutes after 12 p.m. So he should have made contact already because it would have been 9 minutes late if he has not yet made contact. He was supposed to have been should have made contact by midday, 12 p.m. today, Tuesday, according to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF. Russell is a person of interest in the upsurge of violence in the community of Flanker. Oh my God. 1 second, guys. Somebody who is clearly not watching my program, and guess what? It always happens, when I forget to mute people out during my program so that they cannot contact me during the program. Guys, remember, during the program, I cannot communicate with you. So you cannot call me or text me or whatever while I'm on the air. You will cause me to lose my feed. So now I'm going to have to mute you. Sorry. Yeah. 1 second, guys. Let me do this. Little housekeeping, so that we are not disturbed. We don't want to be disturbed at this time. So a little housekeeping here. I just totally forgot to do that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that should silence them. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, so we're talking about this Tommy Lee Sparta, Tommy Lee Sparta, the famous that dancehall artist, right? Who hails from Montego Bay and who lives in Flanker. That's where he lives, in Flanker. Well, at least he used to live in Flanker, he says. So let me tell you the full story. I'm gonna give you some background information, because guys, have to give you information so you can make informed decisions, right? So let me give you some background information as to exactly why the police really are looking for this gentleman. All right. So in the past, Tommy Lee has refuted any wrongdoing, claiming that he moved out of the community close to 8 years ago. Right? No, that is basically what they said today. But I have information that I'm going to give to you guys that goes back, way, way back. So let me find that for you to share with you concerning this young man, Mr. Russell, who is a person of interest to the government. So first of all, you remember I started this program in March, right? So in March, it was right after I started, I ran a story, right? I can go back into my library, guys, about the fact that his daughter was shot. Remember I told you about his daughter being shot? Yes. So let me give you that story. Excuse me. So Tommy Lee's Sparta's manager, Nicole Taban, says the entertainer is hoping for a speedy recovery for a 6-year-old daughter who was shot in Flanker, St. James, Sunday evening. This was from the 24th of March. So this would have occurred on the 20th of March, right? So this is naturally a difficult time for him and his family. He's praying for her quick recovery and is spending all his time with his friends and family. His manager said, right? According to what happened, the report said that three men, Martino Kelly, also known as Tino, a person identified as Bobo, and an unidentified individual had an altercation Sunday afternoon around 5 p.m. The argument resulted in gunfire that led to the shooting of a 9-year-old boy and the 6-year-old girl. The boy died while the girl, who is his daughter, was hospitalized, but she was in stable condition at that time and she has recovered, right? Detectives attached to the St. James police were asking for the unidentified men to turn themselves in, but we never heard anything further concerning that story, right? Now, let me give you a little bit more background again with regard to that. So, 1 second, guys. Where is it? 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 Here. It is here somewhere. Oh my goodness. Where is that story? Oh my goodness. I need a new phone, man. I need a new phone. Guys, I line up my stories, I line up my stories for you. But due to my lack of memory, sometimes this phone does chip out on me sometimes and just mess up my things. So, anyways, all right. So, anyways, I am going to find it before the program is done, because I want to give you the other backstory to that, guys, as to really and truly why the police is looking for Tommy Lee. So, I'll give that to you later. Because I'm not seeing it right now where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to continue with the news because I want to hold up my time, because I only have 1 hour, as you know. So I will get that and I'll give that to you in a few. Let me continue with the news first, and then I get back to Tommy Lee's story. Okay. So continuing with the news. For the seventh consecutive time, the absence of a long-awaited medical psychiatric report has led to a delay in the case against Marvin Orr and Adrian Morgan, the two inmates charged with murder arising from the 2014 death of Mario Dean, who was in the custody of the police at the time of the incident. Remember back in 2014, guys, I don't remember, it was 6 years ago, there was this big thing because Mario Dean was arrested, and while he was in custody, he was beaten up and killed behind bars, right? So as a result of this most recent setback, the case, which was mentioned briefly in the St. James Circuit Court yesterday, has been deferred for July 29th by High Court Justice Glenn Brown, who is presiding over the case. During the brief proceedings, Morgan's lawyer, Franklin Halliburton, told the court that it was unclear as to whether the doctor responsible for preparing the report had done so, as the doctor had been overseas for a protracted period, extended period of time. There were some questions we had penned to the doctor for clarification, and some files were sent to him, but because he was overseas for a time, I do not know if he had completed what he was to complete, Halliburton told Justice Brown. I have canvassed with the Crown, and we have agreed on July 29th as the next date. We are awaiting the final updated medical report, a psychiatric report, for us to proceed once and for all in this matter, and we are wondering if we can also have a social inquiry report in this matter, Halliburton added. Orr and Morgan, who are in custody at the Falmouth Police lockup, were not present during yesterday's mentioned date. Yesterday's court sitting marks the seventh time, guy, since 2019. That's the last year now. The seventh time that the case's progression to trial has been delayed due to outstanding psychiatric evaluations for Orr and Morgan, who are both mentally challenged. A request for the men's evaluation was originally made on September 18, 2019, with a deadline set for October 3rd and then for November 25 that year. On the 7th of January 2020, a report was submitted for Morgan, but not for Orr, who is represented by attorney Trevor Holin. Orr's outstanding report led to the case being rescheduled to January 27th and then to March 25th before being rescheduled to yesterday's date. And just to refresh your memory, Mario Dean was brutally beaten on August 3, 2014, while in police custody at Barney Street Police Station in Montego Bay for possession of a ganja spliff. That's why there was such an outrage. A ganja spliff that has since been legalized, guys. That's the point, right? Since that time, the ganja spliff that he was arrested for has been legalized. So Dean died 3 days later at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Orr and Morgan, who were also in custody at the Barnett Street lockup, were subsequently arrested and charged, along with a third inmate, Damien Cargill. In July 2017, Cargill was judged unfit to stand trial and was released into his family's care. Yeah. That's one of those travesty guys that, it's so sad. We don't even want to rehash that emotional trauma that we felt back in 2014, having learned of this happening, right? But look at this, guys. Now it's 2020, 6 years later, and still the family can't get justice, yeah? And I really don't even know what's going to happen, because here it is now, we've been told that the guys are mentally challenged. So I don't know if it's a defense mechanism, guys, the defense attorney using that, how they do that sometimes, right? To say that the person is mentally challenged so as to get them off scotch-free. We don't know if that is true or if it's actually a fact that these people are really mentally challenged, and we don't want to assume, right? So I'm just giving you the information as I got it, and we only pray, really, and we don't want a situation wherein three guys get away scot-free for committing murder on an innocent young man. Take away his life, his future, and everything, right? Anyway, continue with the news, guys. So 3 of Jamaica Constabulary Forces, the JCF members, have been elevated to the rank of Deputy Commissioner of Police. The appointments of the former Assistant Commissioners of Police, ACP Fitz Bailey, Richard Stewart, and Kevin Blake, were approved by the Governor General 2020. So they've already been in that position now over a month. DCP Bailey, who is currently in charge of the crime portfolio, has served the force in many capacities over his 36 years as a member. He has served as ACP in charge of Police Area 2, commanding officer for the Clarendon and St. Andrew Central Divisions, as head of the counter-terror, as the head of the fraud squad. DCP Bailey holds a Master of Science in Psychology and Criminal Investigation from University of Liverpool and a Master of Science in National Security and Strategies from the University of the West Indies. Yeah, my feed is fluctuating, guys, so bear with me. Some words might get faded out. I won't know which words getting faded out because the feed is fluctuating. So if you're not hearing everything clearly, that's okay. So, okay, so continuing. So DCP Stewart, who has so far served 29 years in the JCF, has a Master of Science in Accounting, a Bachelor's degree in Accounting and Management, and a Bachelor of Laws degree. So he's a lawyer too. He was called the Jamaican Bar in 2011. Over the years, DCP Stewart has served at the JCF's Staff Officer, Commanding Officer for the St. Andrew South Division, and Operation Officer for the St. Andrew Central Division. He currently heads the administration portfolio of the force. And DCP Blake has a PhD in Sustainable Development, so he's Dr. Blake, a Master of Science in Computer-Based Management Information Systems, and a Bachelor's degree in Computer Science and Mathematics, has so far served 18 years in the JCF. He has served as ACP at the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch and the Planning, Research and Development Branch. He has also served at the Operations Branch, Police Area 3, and as the head of the National Intelligence Bureau. Dr. Blake is currently assigned to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. Well, with DCP Fitzbailey, we are hoping and expecting changes going forward with these appointments, because I'm sure these appointments were put in place strategically, right, by the commissioner, of course, with the understanding that they are going to make changes in these areas that they have been promoted to. Yeah. Okay. And we say congratulations to all three DCPs, and we pray that for God's blessing over their lives and for safety as they carry out their duties, because we know that it's not easy to make changes, especially when things have been institutionalized. Yeah, and we're going to come to that in a minute to talk about institutionalized corruption. With the subject, the the subheading, guys. Corruption is still on the table. We're going to be talking about it a lot going forward. We've been talking about it for some time, and we continue to talk about it because guess what? It's a new norm, and we're saying enough is enough. We're tired of the corruption. Yeah, don't it? Absolutely. So I'll get to that in a minute. Just to continue with the news, guys. So the University of the West Indies, UA, says a recently published study has found that some popular skin lightening products used in Jamaica contain alarmingly high levels of mercury, their words. Noting that skin bleaching is a significant health concern among Jamaicans, the researchers pointed out that a common ingredient in skin lightening products is mercury, which can cause damage to the human gastrointestinal tract, the GI tract, right? Your nervous system, nerves, yeah, and your kidneys, which you very much need to process your urine, yeah. The study, published in June 2020 issue of the Journal of Health and Pollution, was supported by PAHO, yeah, the Pan American Health Organization. It was conducted by Felicia Ricketts, Andre Gordon, and Mitko Vushkov, Russian, right, from the Medical Physics Research Group in the Department of Physics, along with collaborators Christopher Knight of the Mines and Geology Division of the Jamaica Government and Anna Bushio of PAHO. According to UA, the researchers analyzed 60 skin lightening products available on the Jamaican market for their mercury content using X-ray fluorescence, which is XRF, right, and the cold vapor atomic absorption spectroscopy, which is a CVAAS. And they found when they used those machines that the mercury content ranged from 0.05 ppm to 17,547 ppm, with 6 products containing levels above the United States Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, allowable limit of 1 ppm of mercury for skin lightening products. So it was supposed to have one, guys, and only one is supposed to have to be safe. And they went up to 17,547 ppm. You see how unsafe that is, right? Quoting them now, they say, on average, creams were found to contain more mercury than lotions and soaps. And lotions and soaps also have mercury in it, right? But at tolerable levels. Of over 300 participants interviewed, females younger than 30 years old who use skin lightening products more than once per day were determined to be most at risk for high mercury exposure. US said that the results of the study are used in the design of public education initiatives about the risk involved with skin bleaching. Guys, I mean, seriously, do we have to say, do we have to tell you? Do we have to tell you? Seriously, do we have to tell you? I mean, this now you're seeing the research is showing that it is not good to lighten your skin. I mean, why are you? Well, we do understand for to some extent why people lighten their skin, right? We do understand that it has to do with low self-esteem on the one hand. But we also know there are other persons who do not suffer from low self-esteem who also lighten their skins. And so the question would be, I mean, why do you do it? Because your explanations are not plausible, right? And here it is now. I'm hoping that with this new discovery and with this new research, I know you're going to see they're going to be putting out PSAs and public service announcements and advertisements and other literature on the subject to bring awareness to our people, because stop it, right? Okay, you're only damaging yourself by doing that, right? Okay, all right. So that's not much of 2 cents on that one, guys. But I want to get to now. Oh, before I give you the corruption one, let me give you this one. Let me give you this one. So, a group of Jamaicans will this weekend come in this weekend, stage a peaceful protest in front of the corporate area head office of the Jamaica Public Service as part of further public outcry in recent days following revelations that the entity has been filtering a part of the cost of electricity theft by some unscrupulous citizens into the bills of unsuspecting law-abiding customers. The matter, which was brought to light in a television report based on a conversation between a customer and a company representative on JPS Twitter account, has generated much disquiet amongst the light and power company's customer base. Yeah, because I'm on Twitter, as you know, right? So I see all the outcries, and we are saying kudos to you guys. Wish I could be there with you to join you, but I'm there. I'll be there in spirit, right? Because this has been, a long time in the making, guys. I'm telling you, about the new normal we're having. We are not putting up with the foolishness anymore. We are saying enough is enough, right? The Honorable Favor Williams says that within a year's time, we should have competition with regard to the telecommunications. So Digicel and Flow getting competition within the year is what we've been told. Let us wait and see. Now we are saying we want a competition with regard to our utility companies, JPS and Water Commission. Right? That's what we're saying. And so you heard, right, where they confessed. And I said it to you a long time, I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this even before I was on the program. I've been saying it for years. I know that they're padding the bills. They have been padding the bills because there's no way my electricity bill could be that high at any point in time, right? As a single person living alone and paying such high bills. And they confessed. They confessed. What they did and what they have been doing, guys. First of all, they used to say, tell us it was because according to them, it was due to the fact that the oil prices went up. So because, the foreign exchange and going up and the oil price going up, that's why the bills were high. Then the oil price went down. You see COVID-19 brought the oil prices way down, right? And still the bills were going up. What was happening here? Now they confessed that what they had to do to recoup their losses, they were adding to our bills for those persons who were not paying an electricity. I can't pay for somebody who is not paying electricity. How that work? I can hardly pay for my own. How am I going to pay for yours too? I can't afford it. And so here it is. Now, people are saying, guess what, JPS? You were unscrupulous, right? That was rude, unscrupulous. And there are all the other negative adjectives you can add to that. And we're saying enough is enough and we're not taking it anymore. And so you're having protesters now this weekend, guys, who are going to go in front of the JPS office in Kingston, and they're going to be protesting peacefully, they say. Right. And we're hoping that when it gets attention, and it has already got the attention, but we're hoping there will be some traction to the point where our government will do something decisively about JPS once and for all. We hear that the OUR has been commissioned to do an but we wanted to go beyond that, right? Because we want to see changes. We're saying during this COVID pandemic, COVID has brought changes. We want to see more changes. Changes, good if it brings benefits to the people. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So now let me get now to this. Oh, so let me show you. You know, I got to show you the front page of today's Gleaner. Yeah, so far I'm almost done with the program. Halfway my program, guys, and I'm just getting to the page of the front page because I find so many other things of more importance. Yeah, but let me get to the front page of the Gleaner because actually the sub story, right, on the front page to me is even more important than their main headline. But I get to that, and I'll give you their headline first. So their headline, the Gleaner's headline today. Yeah, see that? PMP says time's up for DPP. Guys, didn't you hear me? I wonder if they listen to me and they're following my advice. That's what's happening. I'm not getting any pay for my advice, man. They should be paying me for my advice, don't it? You heard me say on a program, guys, that it's time for the DPP to go. Well, here it is now. So, front page story on the today's Gleaner says PMP says time's up for DPP. Opposition leader says Llewellyn has poor record on prosecuting corruption. Poor track record on prosecuting corruption. And I agree. You have heard me say it, right? Anyways, let me give you the story. So, alleging a poor track record on corruption, prosecution, alleging a poor track record on corruption prosecution, opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips has written to Governor General Sir Patrick Allen objecting to the proposal to extend the tenure of Paula Llewellyn as Director of Public Prosecution, DPP. The opposition or the position of the People's National Party president is against that of Andrew Oldham's administration, creating a major political division over an important constitutional office. The DPP is responsible for criminal prosecutions on behalf of the government, and under Section 96 of the Constitution, an office holder's tenure ends on reaching the age of 60, which Llewellyn will be in September. So she turns 60 in September. The section further states that an extension may be granted before the DPP turns 60 by the Governor General, acting on the recommendation of the Prime Minister after consultation with the Leader of Opposition. The extension cannot exceed 5 years, and it's not clear for how long the DPP has requested to stay on for. Repeated attempts yesterday to get confirmation from the opposition leader unsuccessful. Official at his office said he was in his regular Monday meetings. However, the Gleaner has obtained a copy of Phillips' May 21st submission to Sir Patrick, and in it, he told the Queen Elizabeth representative here of his March 2nd response to Holness's proposal to support the extension. Quote, I have the most strenuous objection, Phillips said. The letter to the GG, the Gleaner understand, is part of ongoing discussions involving decision makers in the matter. Phillips argued that his view was based on a range of issues, including what he termed the many deficiencies in the conduct of the office of the DPP during Llewellyn's 12-year tenure. All right, now, before I give you my 2 cents, guys, I gotta give you this editorial that was in yesterday's paper. God, I can't give everything in an hour because it's only 1 hour program and there's just too much information. Yeah. So yesterday's editorial in the Gleaner said, the public has a legitimate interest in and an absolute right to know the substance of the ruling by the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, on whether Lisa Anna, the People's National Party's Member of Parliament for South East St. Anne, broke the law when she recommended executive of the party in her constituency for public works contract between 2011 and 2015. The DPP said no, but nonetheless argued that, quote, a culture of negligence and or unethical management, end quote, in awarding contracts are developed in the parish's municipal government under the aegis of Miss Anna. In that regard, Miss Anna did not escape scot-free. She was made to suffer the opprobrium of DPP Paula Llewellyn, And she was basically angry with her. Once the ruling became public, Jamaicans were in a sense invited to share in Miss Llewellyn's criticism. Miss Anna perhaps deserved the censure, the criticism. But while the cleaner welcomed the revelation of Miss Llewellyn's legal and other opinions on the St. Anne affair, we are a little disappointed at the timing of its emergence. This is why I'm bringing it up, guys, before I give my 2 cents. Timing is everything, right? Timing. So listen. So this occurred a full year after its delivery and days after the publication by the Integrity Commission of its report into the corruption at the state-owned Petrojam oil refinery that is proving embarrassing to the governing Jamaica Labour Party. Do you notice how all of a sudden we're not hearing anything about Petrojam anymore? Listen. For though the timing of the two events may be merely coincidental, you wish, probably the subject of leaks, it leaves the impression of a political tit for tat that could deepen public cynicism and lessen the opportunity for a serious, non-partisan debate on corruption in Jamaica, which is what we want, yeah? We want a serious, non-partisan debate on corruption in Jamaica. It's not about politics here, man. In the event, the development should place on the agenda what should be the obligation of the Integrity Commission and the DPP in making public their findings and declarations after investigation and referrals. This issue began in 2017 when the former Contractor General Dirk Harrison, whose office has since been subsumed into the new Integrity Commission, so it's now become a part of it, conducted an investigation into the role of Miss Anna and her constituency office in recommending persons for contracts which were paid for by taxpayers out of her Constituency Development Fund, the CDF, and supervised by the St. Anne Municipal Corporation. See how long they've been corrupt? Mr. Harrison found several instances in which Ms. Hannah recommended political associates for contracts, including in at least one instance where an employee of the MP's constituency was a close family member of the person recommended for the contract. What else is new? It is against this backdrop that Mr. Harrison asked Ms. Llewellyn, the DPP, to determine if Ms. Anna's action amounted to a conflict of interest and whether she, as a member, quote, as a member of parliament and in this regard a public servant, willfully neglected to perform her duty and or willfully misconducted herself to the point of abuse of public trust and fraud, end quote. In response, the DPP said that there was no evidence that Ms. Anna departed from established procurement procedures and that in any event, mistake, misjudgment, negligence, or even dishonesty in the award of government contracts are not in and of themselves sufficient to establish a foundation for a criminal charge. That's what she said. It's unfortunate, though, that the DPP's declarations, including her remarks relating to the behavior of the municipal government, were not in the public domain a year ago, so that issues surrounding Ms. Anna's actions might have been debated in their own right, rather than being appended to the Petrojam matter as a sort of ping-pong match between the political partisans in an attempt to make the case that the other side scandal is bigger and juicier. Yeah? In this regard, we suggest that Parliament consider amending the Integrity Commission Act to require that the Commission, within 3 months of receiving a response to refer to the DPP, cause a summary of the report to be published. Similarly, the broad decision of the Commission's Director of Corruption Prosecution relating to any report referred to that division by the Director of Investigations should also be published within 90 days, 3 months, of the tabling of the report in Parliament or its publication by the Integrity Commission, whichever comes first. Yeah. Further, which is related to the latter point, we repeat our proposal that the Commission by statute be required to publish forthwith any report that it forwards to Parliament and which is not laid on the table of the House within 3 months of its delivery to the Speaker. Public corruption is, after all, and I repeat this one, public corruption is, after all, too serious an issue in Jamaica for it to be subject to political gamesmanship. And guys, the reason this is a big issue and why I ended up having to give that to you, basically, is due to the recent report, our economists, you don't hear much about them, but they're very much behind the scenes, always are studying and the GDP and all that good stuff, right? And so it has been, they published a report and they said, that corruption takes away 10% of the country's GDP. Yes, it is costing the country billions of dollars. That's what corruption does. It is costing the country 10% of its GDP. 10%, guys, of its GDP. That's a big chunk of the economy. That's what corruption costs. So even if you're thinking, like some people are saying, oh, everybody corrupt and this and that, and your moral compass is so low that you don't see anything wrong with it, okay? Financially, economically, it is costing us. And that is why it's very important for us to shed light on it. Yeah? And we're saying that in the 12 years that the DPP has been in office, how many corruption cases have gone to trial and how many officials have gone to jail as a result of corruption? If you want to see officials go to jail for corruption, go on Mr. Christie's Twitter account, Greg Christie. I go on it every morning. And when you go on Mr. Christie's account, the executive director of the Integrity Commission, you will see he posts it, he tweets it all the time. All the different countries whose officials have been jailed. And I give it some of it. Sometimes I can't give all of it all the time. But my international news, I give it sometimes. That's where I get my information. And then I go and I look it up. You understand? But he publishes it. And you see all the different officials who goes to jail as a result of corruption. Here in Jamaica, how often do you see that happen? It does not happen. 12 years this woman has been in office. And our press secretary is so disingenuous. It looks like, the family of disingenuousness going on, I mean, it has rubbed off on each person. There's a bird of a feather flock together. It is so true. Same peas in a pod. Because our press, after the press secretary has, been disingenuous to come on Twitter to tweet and to say that she is a woman and first woman, and so because she's a woman, does that mean that we are supposed to say, okay, because she's a woman who has been the glass ceiling? No. We want to see results. We want to see results. We want to see results. And we're saying 12 years was in the office of the prosecution and you were well done. Right? It's a PNP or a JP thing. So don't make it a PNP or JP thing. All right? We're saying we want to see if people their job, they must look at 12 years. We don't see where you've made a difference in years with your children and children. Yeah? It's time to go. Yes, ma'am. I will stand up, and if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you I don't care. Even do that. So, I'll bring their trial. And let the judge decide, or their peers, whoever, whether it's a bench trial or trial by jury, right? But let something happen, man. Put something in the machinery, yeah. They can't be sitting there just eating, getting fat and and eating up. And I'm not no disparage on persons who are fat. I'm just saying, right? I'm using the term fat as a metaphor, okay? So I'm saying. You can't just be there living the good life, then let me say that, you understand, and not doing your job. And you have not been doing your job, madam. We've been watching. It's been 12 years. And I'm saying it's time for someone else to come in with fresh eyes, fresh vigor and vim and energy and the desire for change. Because we are saying we want to see change. This COVID-19 has spurred, I'm telling you guys, COVID-19 has had its positives. You understand? And one of the positives, it has really lit fire under us, where we are now alive and rejuvenated and ready to take the fight to where the fight needs to be taken. because we want to see change. Jamaica is too beautiful a country. Jamaica is too blessed a country. Jamaica is full of so much resources as a country. People, I know. I used to manage a villa. People spend their last earning. They save for 3 to 5 years just to come to vacation in Jamaica. I know it as a fact. They tell me they were saving, work and save their money for up to 5 years just to come and have a vacation in Jamaica. That's how blessed and beautiful we are. And we're not going to allow you to destroy our economy. 10% of our GDP is a lot. You know what 10% can do? That's billions of dollars. Not millions of dollars. That is billions of dollars going down the drain because of corruption in this country. Enough, man. And we need to change the laws. We need to change the laws to make, you heard what she said, things that are not chargeable, then they're not criminal offenses. So you can appeal to their moral persuasion, so to speak, right? It breaks moral laws, but it does not break, the laws of the land. The legality of it is that, they are not, it's not an illegal act. But we need to change those laws to make these things illegal. Then it so be the case that they're not chargeable. Yeah. Some international news for you. But before I get into the international news for you guys, I have one more story that I want to share with you. It's a nice story. It's a nice way to seg into the international news. It's very heartwarming. When I heard it, I said, I got to share it with you. So the story was run in yesterday's paper, right? I did not give you that story. So yeah, I got to give some backstory to that story when I give the story now. So let me give you the story. So top student Lisa Angus will be graduating from Kitson Town All Age School tomorrow. That's tomorrow, Wednesday, July 8th, right? 2020, in much higher spirits than she was in when the Jamaica Observer visited her home on Sunday. That's Sunday gone. Deeply touched by the 11-year-old student's story of determination and perseverance despite poverty that was published yesterday in yesterday's Observer, readers in Jamaica and the diaspora have been reaching out to the Observer office to find out how they can assist Lisa with her educational expenses. The story also got the wheels turning for the family to receive well-needed development support through the government. So even the government has gotten on board. You see, why it's good to publish things, guys. I'm telling you, got to publish things, or a closed mouth never gets fed. Yeah. Quote, I would be happy to contribute, hydrogeologist Basil Fernandez wrote in an email to the Observer's newsroom. I would give $30,000 for a start and possibly assist with weekly donations to cover transport and lunch costs. Aisha DaCosta, a reader in Maryland in the US, pledged a yearly incentive tied to Lisa's academic performance. Quote, I would like to contribute $15,000, that's Jamaican dollars though, right, annually towards Lisa's school fees, she said. Additionally, an additional $1,000 for each A and $500 for each B earned as a final grade course up to $15,000. You understand that, guys? So this gives Aisha incentive. Don't it give her incentive that she's not gonna go and ensure that she gets all A's and B, because every time she gets an A, guys, she gets $1,000. And every time she gets a B, she gets $500. Isn't that awesome? Then Jacqueline Bygrave, with a past student of St. Jude's High School, St. Jude's High School for Girls, and that is where Lisa will be enrolled in the next academic year, reached out to the Observer on behalf of the school's alumni association. Quote, we realize that there's a need, and that is why we here abroad raise money to help our little sisters realize their full potential. We have alumni associations in New York, Atlanta, Georgia, South Florida, and Toronto, Canada. The various associations raise money that we send to the guidance counselor to assist students who are in need. She advised that once Lisa is enrolled, assistance can be arranged through the school. Local natural gas providers New Fortress Energy also stepped up to the plate, offering to adopt the young scholar into their ongoing back-to-school program for the upcoming semester. Quote, we are very touched by Lisa's story and her perseverance, even at her young age, to defy the odds of her social circumstances to come out best in class in the national PEP exams is simply remarkable and demonstrates true grit. And okay, so I'm just gonna I'm going to go fast forward now to Lisa's response to all of this. So Lisa was overjoyed when she heard how many hearts her story had touched and was momentarily lost for words. God bless you all. That his phone had been ringing so often all day that he was having a hard time charging it. Quote, me tell everyone thanks. Good wishes to everyone. And thanks to all those who see it and have a touched heart. May God bless them and you, and may all of your food baskets stay full. Yeah. And the story continues. Excuse me. Yeah, so just to the story, basically, she had told them how hard she was having it in terms of, even for the family to find food on the table, and for her, she started St. Hughes in September. She was the top student for the PEP exam, guys, and despite the hardship that she endured, sometimes not even have food to eat, you understand, and despite all of that, she was able to perform at the highest level to become the top student in the PEP exam. Yeah. So we love stories. What's my time? Oh, my time is going. I want to give you one more before I give you my international news, guys. I just got to tell you about this one because I told you yesterday and I got to give it to you yesterday. So Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, has disclosed that under the Reggae Mill at Devon House, the business tenant at the center of the violation of COVID-19 protocols will remain closed. This follows the minister's previous announcement of the closure of Devon House effective yesterday, Monday, July 6th, right? In addition to announcing the closure yesterday, I indicated that a meeting would be held today with the management of Devon House. That meeting was held, and the decision has been made that the remaining 25 shops that operate out of Devon House should not be penalized for the offense committed at the Reggae Mill venue. The Reggae Mill will be closed for 2 weeks. Additionally, no place of amusement license will be granted for 4 to 6 weeks. So, in essence, the good is still suffering for the bad, isn't it? Anyways, the operation of Devon House will be closely monitored to see to it that the management of the entity takes all necessary steps to ensure that there are no further breaches of the protocol. There was no indication yesterday what fine, if any, would be levied on Reggae Mill for the breach on the disaster risk management order. We already know it's $1 million. As protocols will be tolerated. Once again, I must say how encouraged I am by the civic-minded Jamaicans who are reporting the violators. And we will deal with the breaches as they are disclosed to us. That's what the minister says. And to be honest with you, when I first heard until I read the story, I was kind of saying, wait, the minister is backpedaling on something that he said before, and I was like, But then after I read the story, I said, oh, okay, what he says makes sense, and it's right. I didn't even realize that there were so many shops at Devon House. Did you know? I know, right? And so, indeed, we can't punish 25 shops just because one shop, violated the protocols. Absolutely agree with that one. So you got to reopen Devon House. Absolutely reopen Devon House so that the others can basically, guys. I need a phone, but anyways, I love my little Betsy. More than 200 scientists have called for the World Health Organization, WHO, and others to acknowledge that the coronavirus can spread in the air, a change that could alter some of the current measures being taken. Inhalation, talking, and coughing in micro droplets small enough to remain aloft in the air. End quote. That means people in certain indoor conditions could be at greater risk of being infected than was previously thought. The WHO has long maintained that COVID-19 is spread via larger respiratory droplets, most often when people cough or sneeze that fall to the ground. It has dismissed the possibility of airborne transmission except for certain high-risk medical procedures like when patients are first put on breathing machines. In a statement on Monday, the UN Health Agency said it was aware of the article and was reviewing it with technical experts. The WHO has been criticized in recent weeks and months for its seeming divergence from the scientific community. The organization for months declined to recommend mask wearing. Remember, they said you don't have to wear masks. Partly out of supply concerns, and has also continued to describe the transmission of COVID-19 from people without symptoms as rare. And we know that asymptomatic cases are not rare. It's now the new norm to be asymptomatic. I'm telling you, watch that organization. I see this government is like, who is their new God? And everything who said they take it as gospel of their Bible. I am telling you to be careful of this organization. I said it before, guys. Go watch my previous episodes in my previous broadcast, and you'll hear me talk about all the time. You know, especially being backed by Bill Gates, I have no let them part with that organization. And here it is. You see, they have been saying all along, and I said it to you guys. There is no way, nobody can convince me, and could have convinced me until I read this report, that persons are contracting this virus, right? They're not sneezing. They're not coughing. If you somebody coughing and sneezing, you're going to be standing beside them? Of course not. They're not coughing and sneezing. So how are people contracting the disease then? How are they contracting it? Clearly, it must be airborne for people to be catching like that, yeah? And you see, no, it is proven. So I you know what? I like to be right, but I don't like to say I told you so, because sometimes I don't want to be right for the wrong thing, because we have lost so many lives because people are so fixated in their opinion that they're not open for other person's side of perspective. And guys, we have to be open to other people's perspective, because we're not always right. I'm not always right. You're not always right. And so we have to be able to be open to other people and then look at all the different sides, and then we come to a consensus, yeah? But you can't be so dogmatic about things, man. There's nothing dogmatic about anything in life. Yeah? Absolutely not. So the letter was endorsed by 239 scientists from a variety of fields, and it stated that the issue of whether or not COVID-19 was airborne was of heightened significance as many countries stopped restrictive lockdown measures. That's why it's important. The author cited previous studies suggesting that germs closely related to the new virus were spread via airborne transmission. They said there is every reason to expect that the coronavirus behaves similarly. They also cited a Washington state choir practice and research about a poorly ventilated restaurant in Guangzhou, China, each of which raised the possibility of infection from airborne droplets. Quote, "We are concerned that the lack of recognition of the risk of airborne transmission of COVID-19 and the lack of clear recommendation on the control measures against the airborne virus will have significant consequences. People may think they are fully protected by adhering to the current recommendations, but in fact, additional airborne interventions are needed." End quote. And I say, kudos to those scientists for coming forward with this new report to show that they do, in fact, need to modify their protocols that they currently have, to bear in mind and factor in the fact that COVID-19 is airborne. I've said it, guys. I'm not a scientist, but common sense tell me that. Yeah. Okay, guys. So that is it. Oh my God, it is it's already, oh my God, my 1 hour is up, guys. My 1 hour is up. My 1 hour is up. And I have more international news for you now. I'm gonna have to give it to you tomorrow. Don't worry, I'll give it to you tomorrow, guys, because my time is up. And so I'm gonna give you, they're not that time sensitive, so I can give them to you tomorrow. So I will give you my other international stories tomorrow, guys. Yes, I have come to the end of the program. I do hope you enjoyed the program. Yeah, I am going to find that Tommy Lee article that I wanted to read for you. My phone wouldn't allow me to retrieve the article, but I give it to you tomorrow. When we meet, because I would have had more information for you, because at the same time, Tommy Lee was supposed to turn himself in today at noon. So we don't know if he did or did not, but I will have that information for you tomorrow. So I'll give that 2-in-1 story when we meet tomorrow at noon. Absolutely. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the program today. If you do, let me see the comments, let me see the thumbs up. Thank you so very much for watching Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. I appreciate every single one of you. I do. Mwah. I love you all, and I thank you. Thank you for spending this hour with me where we can get information so you can make informed decisions. Guys, remember to share the link with your friends and family. Okay. I got to do one good thing, guys. Sorry. I thought I was going to make it without doing it. I can't seem to make it without doing it. Thank you guys for spending this time with me. Remember to share the link with your friends and family. And remember, guys, I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Omega News JA. Please go over and like, share, and comment. Thank you so very much for your participation, for your support. And remember, guys, when you go out, you must practice. So I say, as that new information I give you right now, guys, what I'm telling you about wearing the mask, that is why it's important to wear your mask, because it is there in the ear and you don't even know. You understand? But to keep on your mask to protect the portal of entry and the portal of exit. You see why it's important now, guys? So it's not about the 3 feet or 6 feet anymore. You get me? Not about 3 feet or 6 feet. It's about the fact that it is airborne. It's in the air. You understand? And so you can, if it is that the person with it, the person could have left, having dispelled it in the air unconsciously, unknowingly, rather. You understand? And here it is now, you go into that room where it is dispelled in the air. And because remember, it's a microbe, guys. It's a microbe meaning you cannot see with the naked eye, in a microscope to see it. So you can't see it. And it's there. And you're in for your fellow men. You see that story, right, with Lisa. Lisa's going to St. Jude's High School for girls come September, and she is in a good place. You understand? She's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. That girl is going to be fine. We want to hear more stories like these, guys. We know our Jamaican people. We know we are like this, right? We were always like this. I don't want to hear because of a few bad eggs. You understand? And some people they claim to become Americanized, not understanding that America is not necessarily like that to some extent, because you're watching the television or you're watching a movie, and these are basically fiction. But now we have become a society where life is imitating art, right? And now we're watching what is on television and we're doing likewise. And you can't do that because real life, it does not pattern, or it's not like a fiction. In fiction, you have a control setting. You can control your character. You can control your setting. You can control the narrative. In real life, it doesn't work like that. So you can't pattern your life off movies, guys, or television shows. Yeah? Gotta show love and compassion for each other. Yeah? Absolutely. That's what our Father wants of us. You understand? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So, guys, remember as you go out from there today to practice love. Love is a verb. It's an action word. It's not what you say, it's what you do. If you love me, show me. Thank you. All right, guys. Until tomorrow, Wednesday, July 8th at midday, 12 p.m., noon. This is JJ Without Borders saying, stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you. Bye. Bye, Jen. Bye, Dar. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, Salodi. Bye.